Leo, this is your week ahead astrology forecast from Astrology Motivation by Born Without Boundaries. In this video, we're going to go through all the major planetary aspects and transits of the week of April 28th to May 4th. Got all my notes written down for y'all, and I got to tell you, it's kind of a challenging week. I'm just letting you know ahead of time. So what we're going to go through is all the major planetary aspects and transits in relation to your natal sun, so that you know how they're going to be impacting your lives. And if you have your natal chart, then you know which degree in Leo your natal sun sits on. Yes, there are degrees in Leo because the zodiac wheel is a circle, and a circle has 360 degrees. And every zodiac sign takes up 30 degrees of that 360 degrees. So somewhere in the zodiac sign of Leo, your sun sits on one specific degree. And so if your sun is somewhere between 0 and 9 degrees Leo, your sun is in the first decan or group of 10 degrees of Leo. And so I'm going to refer to you guys as Leo 1. If your natal sun is between 10 and 19 degrees, you are Leo 2. And if your natal sun is somewhere between 20 and 29 degrees, you are Leo 3. Okay, so that sounds good, right? Now, if you want to know, if you don't have time to get your natal chart, you can absolutely still watch this video. That is completely fine. I am going to give you rough dates that kind of correlate to the degrees in Leo that you may be. But the best, most accurate is to just get that natal chart, and it's free. All you got to do is search it online, free natal chart. So many websites do it. You need your birth date, which you already have, your birth time, and your birth location, the place that you were born. With that information, it's all on your birth certificate. With that information, you just plug it in, and in a few seconds, it pops out a really beautiful, generates a natal chart for you. So definitely get that done if you got a chance. But like I said, you can still move on with me. I will give you the estimated dates that correlate to the degrees, just to help you guys out. Now we're going to start really, really broad with the stuff that's impacting all of us. And then we're going to sort of narrow it down to the Leo specific things that we should be looking at. And then we'll go into the different decans, and I'll tell you how this energy is impacting your natal suns. So, big things that are happening this week. There are no major transits this week. And I guess somebody would argue with me that because we only go up to May 4th. But that means that the moon on May 4th is transiting into Scorpio. And that's pretty big because the moon transits a different zodiac sign every 2.5 days. The major transits of the moon are the new moons, the phases of the moon, the new moons, and the full moons. And there is a full moon on May 5th, which we will talk about. Just a FYI, Leo, you should always know where that moon is, especially new moons and full moons, because new moons and full moons are created by the relationship of the moon to the sun. So there's always a big part that your ruling dignitary, the sun, plays in a new moon or a full moon. So you should remain aware of those. Full moon is coming up on May 5th in Scorpio at, I think, 15 degrees Scorpio. It is in direct opposition, of course, to the sun. That's what a full moon is. But the sun is also conjunct to Uranus when this happens, because Uranus is at 18 degrees Taurus. There's also a lunar eclipse that's happening as well. We're going to get a full penumbral lunar eclipse. That means that the shadow isn't as dark as it could be. It's not in the darkest part of Earth's shadow, but it is fully covered in Earth's shadow. And we, at least in North America, South America, Central America, the UK, well, England, Scotland, Ireland, Iceland, like, we're not going to see it. No, we won't get to see it at all. But those of you who are in Australia, India, Asia, kind of East African coast, you're going to get a really nice view of this lunar eclipse. It's going to happen, at least my time, 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. For you guys, I'm not sure. Just check those calculators. If anybody wants to send me pictures of it, I would really appreciate it. It's not like a solar eclipse, lunar eclipse. You can go ahead and take all the pictures that you want. It'll be fine. without hurting your eyes or worrying about it. So that should be pretty spectacular. But the fact that the sun is conjunct to Uranus during this full moon, and the full moon is in Scorpio, that's a really tough full moon because there's a lot of stuff like repressed, hidden emotions that get to pour out and come out. And it's really explosive because there's a lot of other stuff going on. And we're going to get through that. First of all, some of the other stuff is Jupiter is square to Pluto all week long. That is the Roto-Rooter. That is relentless ruthlessness. That is, I am going to get this done. Expansion, no matter at what cost. That's kind of what that energy is. And then we also have Venus square Neptune, which is I'm lost in my rose-colored glasses, dreaming too much, thinking too much about nostalgia, getting lost in my fantasies, and, you know, being easily manipulated, actually. We also have Mars in very compromised. There's a lot going on with Mars. There's almost too much going on with Mars. I wanted to put this down. So, I know I wrote this down. Hold on. Yes, Mars is sextile to Uranus, square to Chiron, and at least by the second of this week, it is trine to Neptune, and says a square, not semi-square, but says a square to Mars. To Saturn. What does that mean? Let me tell you something, guys. This is not the time. This is the time for the kaboom to happen. It's almost like God is jamming the gunpowder down the barrel and packing it in good. And it's leading up to this big explosion on the full moon. And the full moon explosion is going to have something to do with the sun, because the sun is bringing some brilliant, undiscovered, odd, curveball kind of things to light, because it's conjunct to Uranus. And people aren't going to like it. There's a big kaboom, but at least it releases it all. It releases all the tension. And there's something that is hidden that needs to be revealed. And I think this is global. I really do, because where the sun is riding Uranus, I just do. Let me just put it that way. I don't want to go into the because I don't really have an articulated reason. I just think this is going to be a huge sort of blow up and a clearing of the space and the air, but it's going to be real harsh. Yeah, just to let you know. Let's get into what the sun is doing this week, because that is your ruling dignitary, and the sun is important to you wherever it is. And every 30 days, average 30 days, it changes between zodiac signs, and that's not going to change who you are, but it does change your mentality or your focus. And so it's good for you to know where the sun is always. And it's easy to know where the sun is, right? Because we have a happy Taurus season. The sun is in Taurus. The sun really defines the seasons, what season we're in here. So the sun is in Taurus. It's going to transit between 18 and 14 degrees. Like I said, it's at 15 degrees that the moon is full, so that's the day after this week ends. But it transits between 8 and 14 degrees, and during that time, at least in the beginning of the week, it is conjunct to Mercury retrograde, and by May 1st, it'll be in perfect conjunction at 11 degrees Taurus to Mercury retrograde. This is when you realize something, or the shit hits the fan and forces you to get really ingenuitive and really creative and really bright, right? That's the kind of thing. It's almost like you're forced to realize something because of the kerfuffle that you've gotten yourself into, or that we as a world have gotten ourselves into. So I think that is a day of huge realization and awakening that comes through on May 1st. All this week, the sun is, by May 4th, the sun is conjunct Uranus, so it will be conjunct Uranus during the full moon, and that's when the real ingenuity and superpower brightness you could discover, and almost like a major breakthrough discovery could happen. And all this week, the sun is going to be semi-square to Venus, challenging value systems, challenging the value systems, whether it's financial or just how you feel about something or somebody, what you think is attractive, being challenged, feeling like there's a challenge. This is not a great time for you guys to get a haircut or make any major aesthetic changes because it is very stubborn energy. I'm sorry, I have an itchy leg. I apologize. Very stubborn energy. And with what's going on and directly impacting your natal suns, this is going to be a challenging week anyway. So let's get into that. Leo ones, I think that this is a turning point for you when I look at everything that you're going through. And Leo ones, you would be definitely July Leos, at least up through the 29th of July. But like July Leos, yes. Especially if you're on the Cancer Leo cusp. You guys are, if you're on the Cancer Leo cusp, especially, your natal suns are in opposition to Pluto. It's not that, what that means is that there's dynamic changes that are happening in your life. They don't have to be bad, but they're going to be on you all the time. For the next few years, you're going to be experiencing this. But anytime anything major interacts with Pluto, it will be exacerbated. And that's what's happening this week because Pluto is square to Jupiter. So it's like more intense. It's magnified, right? It's just more intense to why you have to change, why differences have to be made, why you're done with the way things used to be and want to transform, kind of pushing you more quickly toward that newness and that rebirth. All this week, your suns are square to the North Node, which has been happening for a while, and it will through July. There is that sense of tension with finding the way forward or looking to your future, understanding it, just challenges with it. You are also, this is long term, quincunx to Saturn, which is laws, rules, regulations tripping you up. Contracts or contract stuff that you're obligated to, holding you back. There is a trine to Neptune if you are on the cusp of Leo 1. It was the Cancer Leo cusp. A trine to Neptune. So it's like you got this bright imagination and you could see everywhere all at once, but you're stopped up with going there because it hasn't translated into the reality yet. And reality takes time to change. So maybe 10, 15 years from now, everybody will be caught up to where you are now, and that could be very frustrating energy. We also have this week, if you are on the cusp, you are square to Jupiter. So square to Jupiter this week and a square to Mercury retrograde by the 2nd of May, when Mercury retrogrades all the way back into the first decan of Taurus, square to both Jupiter and Mercury, and at least up through May 1st, you're square to the sun. So especially I would say in the beginning of this week, there's just a lot of stuff going on. Communications fouling you up, messing you up. Whenever you're square to a Mercury retrograde, it exacerbates the challenges that it causes for you. It's going to be a pain in the you-know-what for the next week or so. I mean, it's just how it's going to be. Mercury is in retrograde through the 15th of May, and you guys will get a large dose of it. Just an FYI, from May 1st on. And you're square the sun. You're square the sun at least in the beginning of this week, which means challenges with how you feel about yourself, what you think about yourself, who you are, what your life purpose is, questioning yourself, lower sense of self-esteem, just a sense of feeling always being outshined, right? So, is this going to be a challenging week for you? It absolutely is. And by that full moon, you will have a lot to release, if only from this week. FYI. Now, a square to Jupiter doesn't necessarily mean it's bad, but it intensifies everything. And because everything else is challenging you and is tripping you up, the fact that you want to grow really fast is also going to be its own challenge. So there's a lot of push-pull this week. And the best way to take a hot bath whenever you can, get a massage whenever you can, self-care, and just reaffirming how to take care of yourself is going to be front and center. I think the foremost lesson to be learned from this week. Leo 2s. So basically, if your natal sun is between, say, like the 29th, 30th, maybe into the 31st. through, through the first week, maybe week and then some of Leo. I would say maybe up through, I usually say it's like from the beginning of August through like the first 10 days of August. So it's like through August 1st through August 10th, Leo 2s. That's about where you guys would fall in terms of dates. By the 30th of April, the sun, so from the 30th of April through the 1st of May, the 30th of April, you are square the sun. As of the 1st of May, that starts to, I said square the sun during the full moon. So hold on, let me just say, it is by the 30th of April or the 1st of May that you really start to feel a square between your natal suns and the sun. So those of you who are born in early August especially are going to feel that this week. Self-doubt, tension, or questioning your sense of who you are, confidence being a little bit compromised, all of those things. And it's your natal sun. You guys will be square the Sun-Mercury conjunction on the 1st. So when that happens, when that aha moment happens, it will challenge everything that maybe you considered to be regular and reliable and normal. So it's going to bring things into question. So this is a big change for you, and it could challenge just the way that you understand your world. We also have the sun or it's going to cause a lot of tension with you with that Mercury retrograde. At the very least, is going to really upset you, frustrate you, and it could get in the way of something that is making you successful. It could challenge what you do on the day-to-day. Check your phone, make sure your computers are working. Something could go kaput. Your car could break down randomly, make you late for meetings, especially around the 1st of May. FYI. Your natal suns, your natal suns are square to the sun during the full moon. So once again, very challenging energy, combative, like I don't want to release this, I don't want to let go, or it challenges your sense of who you are with this explosion of hidden information that comes out. Lots to release and inconvenient truths. So it will be emotionally strenuous, this full moon. Uranus, you're square to Uranus all week, but you have been, and that's nothing new. What's new is the sun is conjunct Uranus this week, so it's sort of volumizing it. So square to Uranus is just curveballs coming at you left and right, and now because the sun is there, it's going to happen publicly. So it could also bring a little bit of embarrassment. FYI. And then we have a trine to Chiron. What does that mean? All of this is happening so that you can harmonize your sense of, or understanding of why you have to go through what you went through, or you can find purpose in these challenges to enlighten you and to help you grow, be a better part of yourself. Could also mean that you are healing some sort of physical injury, or that you need to focus on healing some sort of physical injury instead of worrying so much about career, reputation, being seen, or just being good at something. It's almost like give yourself a break this week and really double down on the self-care, you guys especially. And then we have Leo 3s. Leo 3s, a lot isn't really changing in your life. There's a lot that's kind of steady, and you guys are getting the least of the challenges this week. Your natal sun, if you were on the cusp of Virgo, your natal suns are in opposition to Saturn, which means just constant kind of tension with laws, rules, regulations, contracts that can't be moved, just frustrating, or even stuff that can be done, but it's like constant. It could, if you activate this, maybe help you move forward in your career or learn about what you want to be doing for a living, but it is tense and is constant tension, and it will be for the next year or so. Pretty much. And then we have a sextile to Venus. This is something that is just for this week because Venus will move on quickly. But a sextile to Venus is actually very romantic energy. It's very lovey-dovey and optimistic energy. So that's a bit of a blessing that you guys get that other Leos do not get, and that's going to really help. And you guys can absolutely sign up for a haircut, change the color of the walls in your house. You'll have very good taste. You'll be very attractive. You'll find people that you're attracted to if you're single. This is a really great time to date. Opportunities opening up when it comes to really shining and people seeing the best of you and you being just absolutely irresistible. Just an FYI. Jupiter this week into next week is going to be trine to your natal sun, which also offers a great deal of luck and abundance. And it's going to be power packed because Jupiter is squared to Pluto. It won't take no for an answer. So your luck is going to come through and your fortune is going to be recognized. Along with that sextile to Venus, this could actually prove to be a very beautiful week for you guys. Beautiful. And then you also have a long-term quincunx to Neptune. Once again, that's been going on for a long time. Mars is, I think, square to Neptune this week. So that could be exacerbating Neptunian energy a little bit. No, Mars is trine to Neptune. Oh, so, but Venus is square to Neptune. It's like Venus is square to Neptune, but it's sextile to your natal sun. So what that means is something may come off as much more beautiful now than it actually is. So even though it might be really fun for the moment, once that wears off and Venus moves on, it might not last that long. Just an FYI. But that's the only caveat. That's pretty much it. You guys are set to actually have a beautiful and probably very fun and could be fortunate. I don't know if it's long-term fortune, but could be very fortunate, at least just for feeling good and being happy this week. So I bet all Leos wish they were you because everybody else is really getting the crunch, really getting challenged. But you guys are kind of like on the safe side of things. So enjoy the week. And remember to subscribe to this channel so that you can help us grow and help me keep making videos. Also come across to Born Without Boundaries Tarot for your weekly tarot card reading. Week ahead tarot card reading. I hope to see you guys over there. Please give this a thumbs up and absolutely comment below. I will see you guys next week. Bye.